Hello, peeps, and welcome to another wonderful, hello, little baby truck just like mine. But baby, you're the little baby, and I'm the big mama. Welcome to another edition of Fucked Up and Fine, sitting in the truck at another doctor's appointment. At the Orthopedics, the orthopedic surgeon waiting for time to come out. Just sitting here. I have company. So my son just resubscribed to 2 more years for me. He's a good boy. Ooh, look, there's an article about Rocky and Drago, about the new Rocky 4 director's cut. This was an eventful little press conference right here. You guys know what happened here? This is Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez. And they got into a shoving match. And Canelo started it because Caleb called him a motherfucker. And Canelo takes that seriously. Not like a slang, you know what I mean? And so he hit him. Hit him twice. Listen to this. However, contrary to popular opinion, I believe that Muhammad Ali's boxing career was somewhat overrated. And I ask your readers to consider the following facts. Ali came into the boxing scene when boxing was losing its popularity in the late 50s and early 60s. He was a great public relations man for boxing. His presence was huge, and he did fill the boxing arenas. However, Ali's claim of being the greatest of all time has never had to answer one question. How can the greatest of all time lose to Leon Spinks in Spinks' 8th professional fight? Larry Holmes walked through Spinks in 3 rounds, while Ali had to endure 2 15-round fights with Spinks. Ken Norton was unheard of when he upset Ali in 73, true. However, George Foreman knocked out Norton in 2 rounds a year later. Archie Moore was a month shy of 50 years old when he fought Ali in 62. I didn't even realize Archie Moore and Muhammad Ali fought. This guy comes up with a lot of good... Hi, Quintia. This guy comes up with a lot of good points. Now, I have never been an Ali fan. Which, okay, let's be honest. When Muhammad Ali asked me, who's your favorite fighter? Well, he mumbled. And I didn't quite understand what he said. And Lonnie, his wife, had to repeat it and say, "Who's your favorite fighter?" I'm sitting there with Muhammad Ali, his wife Lonnie. And in typical Kelly fashion, my answer was Mike Tyson. Somebody should have told me, if Muhammad Ali asks you who your favorite fighter is, you want to say Muhammad Ali, not Mike Tyson. He shot me a dirty look and clenched up his fist like this. And I just laughed my ass off. Lonnie laughed her ass off. The only one who didn't think it was funny was Muhammad Ali. He was the only one that didn't think it was funny. But that's all right. Lonnie told me off to the side. He was signed in some autographs because he could still scribble an autograph. Lonnie said, "Just call him Champ. He likes to be called Champ." I said, "Okay." Because his son, Assad, nicknamed Sadi, played for the Niles, Michigan team. So their son played against our son all the time. And unbeknownst to me, I adopted the Niles team as a secondary team to hang out with when our boys were warming up. Now, truth be told, I was sitting in the bleachers by myself. They all came and sat around me, and they were eating fried chicken and French fries and all this good food, and I was hungry. So I turned around and was talking to the boys, and I said, "Who's going to share their food with me?" And one boy gave up a chicken drumstick, another boy gave up a few fries, another boy gave up a biscuit. And so Mama just sat there and ate with the boys and got to know them and talked to them. And then whenever I'd see them, I'd talk to them and blah, 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 blah. One thing led to another, and I would watch their team. And I got to know all the boys, and then I got to know all the parents. And then I was talking about boxing with one of the boys one day, and he says, "Hey, Sadie, come here." He says, "Big Mama likes boxing." He goes, "Oh, you do?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I like boxing a lot." And the kid, not Sadi, because he was real humble, but the kid goes, "You know who Muhammad Ali is?" I said, "Yeah, I'm not a Muhammad Ali fan." And Sadi's mouth dropped open. And I said, "What's wrong with you?" And the kid goes, "Muhammad Ali is his dad." And I said, "Yeah, right, bullshit." And he says, "Sadi, tell him." And he comes up, he goes, "Yeah, Big Mama, my dad is Muhammad Ali." I said, "What's your mom's name?" "I know what your mom's name is then." "What's your mom's name?" Thinking that he wouldn't know. He said, "Lonnie." And I went, "How do you know that?" So he takes my hand. Well, he goes through the fence first. And then he takes my hand and he leads me over to this woman who's got her back to me. And he goes, Mom, I want to introduce you to somebody." She turns around with her Chanel glasses on. She takes her glasses off, and I went, "Do you know who you are?" I said, "Oh my God, you're Lonnie." And she says, "Yes, I am. And who am I speaking to?" And I said, "I'm Big Mama. I'm the team mom for the hurricanes or the tornadoes or the wizards. I don't know what we were called. The hurricane, I don't know what we were called. We wore green shirts. The Cyclones. I think we were the Cyclones. Maybe. And shook her hand and got to know her and everything. And I turned to him and I said, "You're telling the truth." He goes, "I told you my dad was Muhammad Ali." And Lonnie's like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?" He's just like, "Well, she just didn't, so-and-so told her and she didn't believe him." And Lonnie's like, "Oh." So I was standing there talking to him and, getting to know all the other parents and stuff for the team. And she's like, "Yeah, I've seen you around talking to the boys and watching the boys play ball and hanging out with the boys and everything. We wondered, who you were and why you were hanging out with our boys." And I said, "They just kind of adopted me. I was sitting in the bleachers and they came all around me with food, and I just told them they couldn't eat food in front of me. They had to share, and so they all shared, and we bonded." And I used to play knuckles with them a lot. Not one boy could ever beat me in knuckles. Not one boy could ever beat me in knuckles. I didn't care how much pain I was in. I would not allow a teenage boy to defeat me in knuckles. But that's how I got to know them. And then, I don't know, a couple months later, Muhammad came to a game and I got to meet him. Sadi introduced me to him, and Lonnie was there, of course, and we were already friends. And then the next time he came to a game, he didn't always come, but they'd roll up in their great big old A-class motorhome, and beautiful motorhome, and invite me to go over and have lunch and stuff with them. And so I did that a couple, 2-3 times, and used to sit with Lonnie and watch the games a lot, the Niles games. And then all the parents got their undies in a bunch when in the playoffs, because we were playing to see who goes to the World Series. And the USSSA, yeah, 3 S's, World Series. And their team was playing our team. And a couple of the parents got their undies in a bunch because they thought I was going to give their tips and tricks and how they play to our coaches. And I didn't do that. I didn't play dirty. And as it would be, they beat us. They beat us and knocked us out. And then they got beat the next game, so they didn't get to go to the World Series either. But yeah. Sadi is now married. He's got to be 30 now. He got married about 5 years ago. We used to keep in touch a little bit. Just a little bit. Hipflippin' Daddy went to a football game one time where Sadi was on the football team. I didn't know it, or I would have went up there. And my phone rings, and it's Hipflippin' Daddy, and I'm like, "Hey, babe, what's up?" And he goes, "Hi, Big Mama." And I'm like, "Sadi?" He goes, "Yeah, why aren't you up here watching me play football?" And I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know you were playing football." That's the last time I talked to him. Well, I might have talked to him another time. Because we went up to the ball field when Niles was playing Kalamazoo Central. And he was a year younger than Clay. So he was catching. So I got to talk to him then and catch up with him then. And I think that was the last time I talked to him. But we didn't keep in touch after that. I mean, it's kind of, would be inappropriate for a grown woman to keep in touch with a teenage boy. So, I mean, if he wanted to contact me, that'd been one thing. But I wasn't going to contact him. I did send him a message on his social media when his dad died. But that's it. Not like we were friends or, you know, we're just acquaintances. Oh, I hope this appointment is quick. We have to get gas and then we're going to go back home. I don't know. I'm not one to really like cocky fighters. So I didn't really care for Muhammad Ali. Same reason I don't like Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, because he's cocky. Evander Holyfield made a comeback. He fought Belfort, right? This is Belfort. Belfort kicked his ass in the first round. So, hello, maybe you shouldn't be fighting anymore. Just because Mike Tyson can do it doesn't mean that you can do it. Mike Tyson wants to fight Lennox Lewis now. True story. See, now look at this dude. He's got a little bit of a belly. He could have a bigger belly. He's got some dark skin going on. Got some biceps. That's my kind of dude right there. I like a dude with a belly. Don't ask me why. Maybe because Hipflippin' Daddy was a bodybuilder when we met. Hi, Patty. Tom is inside at the orthopedic surgeon. So I'm just getting so tired of... Tom was trying to fill out a pre-registration form on his phone. He was so confused filling it out. I mean, the man is not good with electronics. He is not... He's like, none of these addresses are the address of the orthopedic surgeon. He brings me over the phone and I said, Tom, it's asking for our address. Which one of the following, trying to confirm you as the correct patient. Which one of these addresses is ours? Right there. I'm telling you. And we were supposed to take my car down. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I didn't give myself enough time. We're going to have to take it down tomorrow. All the crap that if I had done, he'd be narcissistic on me. I'm just really frustrated, Patty. I'm frustrated that I don't get any time to myself unless I'm in my office working. Ooh, look at this. This would be sweet art if I framed it. That's Parnell Whitaker. I don't know who the fat white guy is. Roberto Duran. Because I think that's who that is. They used to do on the cover. Oh, this is a cool one. See how it's like artwork? I want to frame those and put them in my room. Yeah, Roberto Duran and Parnell Whitaker. They want to, they are wondering what a fight between Roberto Duran and Parnell Whitaker would have been like. Roberto Duran retired way before Parnell Whitaker, so I know. I'm just so frustrated. I'm very frustrated. Roberto Duran fought for a really, really long time. Look at this. It says, Bradley worked hard to maintain an exceptional physique. Look at that. It's like cinnamon rolls. That's Timothy Bradley right there. I could not imagine. Well, I'm sure he's, flexing for it too. Oh. Juan Manuel Marquez. he was a good fighter too. Oh, and then we got Rocky and Drago. Fun fact, Sylvester Stallone is standing on an apple crate right now. In this picture, he's standing on an apple crate. True story. Yeah. No. I was gonna lie, but no. Well, not so much lie, just... I'm sorry, Patty. I know what that's like too, honey. I know what that's like too. But the frustrating thing is, I got up at 5:30 this morning thinking I would get some time to myself. No. I didn't get any time to myself. Last night after I finished the auction and did my invoicing, I went out to the kitchen, I went downstairs, brought up a whole box of food because we never needed to empty the freezer. We just had to unplug it for 5 minutes. That's what they told us. And made myself a salad. Then Tom comes out after sitting on his butt for 10 hours watching TV, and he's like, this fridge needs cleaned. And he starts emptying out the fridge. So we ended up cleaning the refrigerator, and I bitched at him the whole time. Well, I didn't say any words, but I went a lot. A lot. But I got it done. I told him to just get out of the kitchen and get on my way. He's like, do you know how this goes back together? I said, yes, I do. He goes, how do you know how it goes back together? And I said, how do you think the refrigerator gets cleaned? Do you think like a secret fairy in the middle of the night comes in and cleans the refrigerator? You clearly have never done it. We've been together 36 years, 35 years living together. And all that time, have you ever cleaned a refrigerator? No. Well, then I guess I've been doing it. He likes to say, I never clean. You never clean. I do all the cleaning around here. You never clean. I guess those floors get mopped all on their own, and the baseboards get cleaned all on their own, and the washer and dryer gets cleaned all on their own, and the toilet gets cleaned all on its own. And I guess your sheets and towels and all the bedding and the pet stuff just gets cleaned all on its own. I don't know. It has been kind of nice that he's done dishes a few times. Oh, I started to, though. Last time he tried to tell me I was lazy, in that, yeah, like somebody with fibromyalgia and the shit that I have, and everything that I do, call me lazy, that sets me off. So every time I would do something, I would tell him I did it. And he was getting so pissed. And I'm like, well, I want you to know everything that I've done. So then everything he would do, he would tell me I washed the dishes. What, the plate and the fork that you just used? Thank you. You should do that anyway. As soon as you're done. That's what I do. Any dish that's dirty, I wash it right away. And then yesterday, he went out and made sure the snowblower started. And checked the spark plugs and the oil and everything. He changed the oil before he put it away in the spring. So he said, okay, babe. He goes, the snowblower's all set for you. And I was just like, yeah, that's right. I'm going to have to snowblow. And that's okay. But he's going to have to stop bitching about me not cooking 3 meals a day for him. He can cook. He can waddle his ass into the kitchen and cook. I have little sympathy because of how he hurt himself doing stupid shit. And if it were me that had done that, he would not have been supportive. Not 1 ounce. And he would have bitched and bitched and bitched and bitched and bitched at me. Yeah, I know, Patty. I'm sorry, baby. I don't mean to bitch about what I'm going through, because I know you're going through so much more. I remember when my dad had strokes. He had 5 massive strokes in a 10-year period. And he had a lot of little strokes in between. And the 5th stroke took him. It paralyzed his throat, his esophagus. And he couldn't have a feeding tube in his stomach because of the Coumadin he was on. And he didn't want a feeding tube down his throat because then he wouldn't be able to talk. So he went ahead and said, let me go. And, he went off all his medication. And, no food, no sustenance. And 4 days later, he was gone. I had just gotten this job making $14 an hour. And this was 12 years ago. And I was in training for the job. And when my dad went on hospice, they wouldn't let me have any days off because I was in training. Oh, thank you, baby. So I quit. And they said, you can come back in 6 months and do training again. So I quit. To this day, my husband holds me quitting that job against me. To this day, he holds it against me. He's like, you could have went and saw your father after work. And he hadn't lost either of his parents at that point. Of course, they're both gone now, but that's the narcissistic side of him. You guys know all the wonderful, wonderful sides of my husband. That's just the FedEx delivered my package. It's got to be jewelry. That's just the narcissistic side of him. Although he did give me a hug and kiss. I didn't want one, so I tried to turn away from him. But he grabbed me from behind, gave me a hug and a kiss, and said thank you for helping do the fridge and bring the food up. And hi, Mike. Yeah. my dad was in a nursing home the last year of his life. And every time I'd go to see him, because I was going to college, I didn't go to college until I was 42. My parents said, "You're not going to college. We're not wasting our money on you. We sent your brother to college. He had a partial baseball scholarship. He drank himself out of college. We're not wasting our money on you." And I was like, I either wanted to be a physical therapist or a veterinarian. More like a veterinarian or a veterinary technician, which I did end up being a vet tech, but not licensed. And well, so I was like, fine, fuck you. Went and moved in with my boyfriend, my fiance. So they told me that, and we took our SATs. All I did when we took our SATs is I just filled in various circles. And I ended up doing really good on the SAT. Just not even reading the questions, just filling in the circles. Because I figured I wasn't going to college anyway. But I went to college when I was 42. And every time I would go up to the nursing home, I would have to have my books, because my dad, he could only say a couple of words, and it took him a while to think of those words and get them out. But he would always tell me, homework, homework, homework. So I would sit there and do my homework. And sometimes I would pretend like I needed help. And so I'd ask him questions. And then he would come up with an answer. And it wasn't always right, but I would go, "Oh, that's right. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. I appreciate that." And it would make him feel really, really good. He was really proud that I was in college. He didn't live long enough to see a report card, and I graduated with 2 degrees, just 2 associate's degrees, and a bunch of certificates. But he would have been so proud. He would have been so proud. Out of all the kids in my family, I'm the only one that's gotten a degree. My brother's older kids, they each got a degree. They got a bachelor's. My son got a bachelor's. He was working on his master's. He gave that up. My daughter took a couple of classes, but she didn't take it seriously. I don't think my other brother's kids got any degrees. And I know neither one of my sister's kids went to college. So I want to go back and get my bachelor's, but my husband won't let me. I have so much student loan debt, because instead of working, we were living off the student loan debt. And then he really got pissy when he found out that which he knew all about it at the time. We paid for my daughter's wedding, or our daughter's wedding, like $12,000 out of my student loans. So I told him, when I get my student loans, which are at like $45,000 right now, when I get them down to $10,000 or $12,000, they're going to be a joint bill. Everybody's going to be paying it. Yeah, like my husband right now, he won't put 1 penny, because we split the bills. He won't put 1 penny towards my student loans. And I said, that's fine. I'm not putting 1 penny towards your truck. It's the same payment every month. I said, 2 can play that game. I pay him $400 a week. And I was buying my own groceries, but now I'm not, because I'm not doing that diet. And now I got to come up with more than that because he's not working right now. And we don't know when short-term disability is going to kick in. I just faxed the paperwork over yesterday. So I don't know when short-term's going to kick in. He'll get about 70% of his check. So I got to make up that other 30%. So I have been listing on eBay like a mad woman. Oh, here's something for the boys. Something for the boys. And I'll be in my room working until, like, when I wake up in the morning until I go to bed. And then I get bitched at for ignoring him. Well, I gotta work. He's like, you spend all day in that office. Yeah, honey, it's called working. I have to work. I have to list things on eBay. Because he's just like, today, you don't have an auction today, right? And I said, no. Well, we can go out and do some stuff and go to a movie. And I said, I still have to work. You're on medical leave, but I still have to work. I mean, I can sit around and watch TV with you every day if that's what you want. I already missed last Tuesday's auction because I had to take him for a CAT scan. So that crippled my money for the week, right? And thankfully I had some private showings that made up for it. But he wants me to just sit and chill with him all day. And I'm like, I can't. If you don't want me to pay the bills, that's cool. I'll sit and chill with you. I won't do auctions. I won't do eBay listings. We'll just sit and watch movies and binge watch TV shows. But don't expect my money every week. Because how do you expect me to make my money every week? He just doesn't get it. Whoopsie. And I don't mean to make this a bitch session, you guys. I'm really sorry. I really don't. Because I love my husband. He's a great guy. He has wonderful qualities to him. He's very grateful for everything that I'm doing for him. All the things that he doesn't understand how to do or can't grasp the concept. He can't grasp the concept of short term. He can't grasp the concept of accident insurance, which we do have. So that is going to pay for his x-ray. They'll pay a certain amount of money to him for his x-ray. Slow down! There's squirrels in this parking lot. Damn millennials. Oh, that's Larry Holmes. Who's he fighting? Looks like Leon Spinks, but I don't think so. Larry Holmes. Oh, Ronaldo Snipes. You know, they'll pay him for his x-ray. I don't know how much. It's like a set amount. And they'll pay for his MRI. Hopefully it's like $150 for his MRI. And then they'll pay, I think they reimburse us the co-pays that he has to pay and whatnot, which comes out of our joint money. So hopefully we get all that back. And then he says, I'll just pay off bills with it. And I said, honey, you're only going to get 70% of your wages. So any of that money you get back has got to go to compensate. I think he's limping out. Has got to go to compensate for the other 30%. I'm working really hard trying to make up that extra 30%. I'm trying anyway. I'm trying. Every day I get to list on eBay, the next day I get more sales. But it's just getting to list it. The only thing I can think of is I'll set up a table in the living room and work from the living room. And he'll just have to leave the lights on. He doesn't like to have the lights on, but Humphrey Bogart in the Ring magazine. I mean, doesn't normal people carry 2 Ring magazines around in their purse? I mean, I was pretty sure normal people do. Poor Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua needs to retire. He is no longer an A-list boxer. He emotionally is not in it. You guys, for any of the men in the chat, hi Alexander. Hi baby boy. Oh, here comes my husband. And I'm talking about boxing, and now I have to go. See, Alexander, I'm just waiting for my husband at the orthopedic surgeon, and I'm reading my Ring magazines. But he's coming out now, so I gotta go, guys. Alexander, we're gonna do a show. We're gonna do a boxing show. All right, I gotta go, though. Love you guys. Bye.